Rick, you guys have, as you mentioned last night, a ton of close games. How much do you balance sometimes the pain of losing a game like that with also, okay, we're in it and maybe we're growing in these games too?
Yeah, no, it's something I say after every game. Like they're just they're learning moments, right? It's there's pockets of the game, you can learn from, good and bad. We talked like I think the last 8 or 9 games. I think we're one of the top teams of limiting odd man rushes, right? So, I don't know. I think we're fifth in the league, so that's a positive. But we gave 10 last night, so is that an outlier? We had to make sure that doesn't happen again. So, and then there's pressure situations where communication, where we had the puck. Can we make a play under pressure instead of just throwing it away? So, but then there was pockets where we did hold the puck and we made plays. So it's like, can we do it consistently? That's something we're striving for every day. Whether it's video or practice. So that's today's meeting. Today was teachable moments.
Rick, with regards to Owen Tippett, for the
Yeah.
last few years, watching him, one of the things that he's struggled with is consistency. And
Yeah.
I know you haven't been here very long, but you're kind of seeing it. He starts out the year, firing all cylinders.
Yeah.
Now he's slumping. I guess as a coach, what do you do to try to work on a player
Yeah.
to become more consistent?
Yeah, I got to build a relationship. Like I feel that we have a good relationship. I want to get tighter with him, kind of get in his brain and help him. I want to help him. Like that he's like his tools are unreal. So can we piece it together? The first shift, I think his first or second shift of the game, power move goes in, rings one off the crossbar. Like that's elite level. But how do we consistently have that kind of, where he's, constantly focused in the game, and I got to help him. That's my job, and our coaches. We got coaches are. Jay spends every day, almost every other day, watching video with him. So we have to just continue to grow this guy, because there's something. He's got a lot of tools. So it's on us to hone those skills.
I feel like in the past he's mentioned like he feels like he's one of those guys who plays better when he has consistent line mates, where he kind of knows where they are, they know where he is, and it's been a little bit more consistent this year than in the past.
Yeah.
But how do you maybe work with someone like that who needs that consistency so much when you want to kind of shake up a lineup or move guys
Yeah,
around?
I mean that's just growth, maturity. He's played with Devo and Trevor for majority of the time, so I'm not sure it's that. He's a really good one-on-one player. Now how do you become a good line with somebody like I'd like to see more give and go. Personally, I think that'll help him. A little more engagement sometimes in his shifts, like. When there's a pile, stopping these piles and coming, like he likes to come in and get out of there. And I don't know if it's something over the years that he's just done, but I'd like to. That's one thing I have to correct. I know if he stops in these piles, his game will get better. Nobody's going to convince me other than that. And I think it's just a little bit of bad habits over the years, and he's corrected it. Like I say, the guy gets chances every game. I get it. We want him to score. I get it. Whatever. But he's too valuable a guy for us to, I think there's a lot there to like.
When it comes to Cam York, you talked a little bit about how in the offseason you and Todd had discussions with him, did
Yeah.
video with him. He's kind of a chill guy, right? You
Yeah.
talked to him, but did you get any sort of sense that he was coming in with like a chip on his shoulder to just sort of to prove to the new coaching staff that he could be a big part of this future?
Yeah, I think there's he's not showing there's a chip, but I could tell. I think there's a little bit of a, I hate to say F you, and I want to prove. And I think the commitment by Danny and Jonesy and Dan Hilford is, what he signed a 5-year deal, right? So they commit. They know there's a player there. Plays 25 minutes a night. I think he really. There's a lot of that in his game where he just, and there's more there. Like we had a video session today, me and him and Sandheim. And there's some things, he knows he's got to get better at, but, we're playing him 25 minutes a night. And you're going against Connor McDavid or, the great players of their team. It's hard every night to be able to do that. So I got to give him a lot of credit.
He had, in overtime, I know he turned it over.
Yeah.
Is that something that you feel like mentally he's able to quickly move
Yeah,
past?
I think so. I mean, you can't let that linger. Listen, we've talked about 3-on-3 puck possession, and obviously we got rid of the puck too early. Like but that's something we're just, it's not just Cam, it's our team. We just got to learn pressure situations, like how to handle them, and not be so antsy. And that's why we're playing out. Listen, we're playing a lot of tight games. So, and he's done really well. I mean, there's some games there in Montreal. I mean, he made some pressure goals for us to get us to win the game. So it's there.
Like the other day, you said Jay Rarity put together a 3-on-3 presentation
Yeah.
for you guys.
Yes.
Just given how much you guys have gone to overtime, how much of an emphasis are you guys now putting on, like, yeah, we need to work on this because games
Well,
are being won and lost here?
Yeah, the last 2 overtime losses are, I want to say, I guess they're crucial. Like they're tough mistakes, and we, you got to just 3-on-3 is about valuing the puck and good changes. If you can value the puck and good changes, you got a good shot of being on the right side. And the 2 losses the change wasn't great, or we tried to change, and then the pucks. So it's the other teams go through the same thing. It's just that you got to recognize it, and hopefully the next overtime we learn from it.
Rick, going back to the defense for a second.
Yeah.
Adam Yenning. I think
Yeah.
he's only gotten in 1 game
I know.
since October 16th.
Yeah.
I guess from your perspective, are you okay with him sort of just being the extra? Do you guys think about sending him
Yeah.
down because he's not playing, or do you think about getting him in a game because he's not playing? Like, where are you at with him right now?
Just what you said. I mean, I talked to Danny today. We got to figure something out here because we can't have this guy in activity. I hate having guys sit long periods of time, wherever it is. So we talked about it. So we have to have a game plan on whether does he get in the lineup in a back-to-back, or against Z. Z's waiting, Zamula too, right? I think the other 2 guys have done well, but then again, in activity it's tough. So we got to make some decisions on that, and we've talked about it. Yes, yeah.
We've talked a lot about how teams kind of hem you guys in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're getting quality chances. But that takes a physical toll. We talked a little bit about
Yeah.
the mental side of it, but that takes a physical toll when you're constantly moving around, moving your feet, like always on your toes in that regard. How do you balance that aspect? Because you have guys like Cam York and Travis Sanheim that are
Yeah.
playing 25 minutes a game.
Well, it's correctable. We have the puck, right? Can we hold on the puck and make a play out of it, like, instead of flipping it out or missing an assignment? You're going to miss an assignment, but to me, it's a puck possession support thing that can help. That's when teams, I think they had somebody said a minute and 20-second shift. We looked at it. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but it's not like they had great, unbelievable chances. And Big Vladdy was there for us. Whether it was that short side save, like, it's a real good save. It's not like, oh my God, a 10-beller, but he's in position because he knows, and you can ask the goalies, they kind of like the structure where they know where the puck's coming from. Now, saying that, do we want a steady dive? No. We have to, I think we can get close in on people quicker. I think we can cut resets off. I don't think we're there yet. It's a big part of the defensive system is cutting resets, because when you can cut that off, you just squash the play. Now you get the puck. Now can we exit the puck? And like when a team is all in, forechecking on you, or they got the puck possession. If you win that battle or you get that puck, they're vulnerable. They might have a D dive, and all of a sudden you get it, and it's like, oh man, we have a 3-on-2, but can we execute that play? We are sometimes, but not consistently, and we know that, and that's what. But these guys are every day. They're working on it. They are young team. They're working on it.
Do you like the fire in Dan Vladar? I know he's played against Edmonton or plenty with the Battle of Alberta and whatnot, but last night it seemed like he had almost like a point to make with it.
I just think I don't know him that, like, I'm starting to obviously get to know him. I just didn't. He's, like I said to you guys, in between the intermission, the timeouts. He comes by the bench. He hits the board. Hey, come on, boy! Like, usually goalies pretty quiet. And they just put their mask on, drink, and they go back to the net. He's actually like a little bit of a cheerleader. He's got a lot of fire, even between periods. So, good. Like I said, great character guy.